Just to clear up the confusion for some, a high earning man is not the same as a high value man. Okay, just because that man has a lot of money does not make him high value. The way he carries himself, the way he conducts business, the way he treats his women, the way he treats his family, his children, that's what makes that man a high value man. His morals, his values, his goals. Y'all be confusing the two. Okay, just because that man earns a lot of money does not make that man high value.
Welcome back to the channel. You see the information on the screen, so you know what I'm about. So let's get into it. I love the core essence of what this lady is trying to say, and I think it goes to some of the things that I talk about on this channel. I think she could have used, slightly different words, but I do agree with the core of what she's trying to say. Back about 3 or 4 years ago, we fell in love with this concept of the high value man. And in the high value man, really the whole concept is he's just a man that a lot of women like. That's really it. He's generally tall, he's generally attractive, he generally makes 6+ figures. And when we say 6+ figures here, these days we would probably say at least 150,000 or more, because he's probably not going to be on that edge. He's going to make enough money where he can toss a little bit of money around. All right. And the concept here was that a lot of women were saying, okay, I want this man. This is the man I want to marry. But the thing I've always said is a high value man is worthless. He's absolutely worthless, because this is society's way of saying, okay, what is good and what is bad. What I've always encouraged you all to do is to try to get a marriage-worthy man, because a marriage-worthy man is a man who cares about his family or future family. He cares about his wife, his children. Okay, he's going to do his best to be a good earner. He is going to do his best to be that protector, provider, leader. These are two totally different types of men. There are a lot of marriage-worthy men walking around. Okay, there are very few high-value men walking around. And again, this is society's way of trying to encourage women to go down a path to derail, because that's really what it is. It's derailing women. Because see, a lot of women, they don't know. Let's be real. They come from environments where they never had their dad, or they don't really, know that many good men. So now you have social media that's trying to tell them, oh, girl, he needs to look like this. He needs to do this. He's going to have his money and he's going to be good to you. In fact, he's a high value man. If he has that moniker on him, he's a good guy. No. Okay. That doesn't mean anything. You can be a high value man and cheat on your wife. You can be a high value man, okay, and never get married and literally have 20 babies out here. You can be a high value man. There's really even nothing in the definition of being a high value man that says you could not be R. Kelly or P. Diddy. There's nothing in that whole definition that says you could not be them. So again, let's talk about this. See, that's the problem with what people are going after. You can go after that and end up with, like I say, a R. Kelly, P. Diddy hybrid. Okay? Or you can find a marriage-worthy man. And see, that man might not have as much money. That man might not be 6'2". That man might not be a 10 out of 10 as far as attractiveness. That man might not have all of these outside things that you think are so important. But that man will love you. That man will take care of you and the children. That man will make your life easy. That man will carry the cross of life for you. That man will bend over backwards to bless you. That man will do everything in his power to make you happy. Okay? And so a marriage-worthy man and a high-value man are two totally different men. And a high-value man might show up and bless you, but he might not. And believe it or not, there are marriage-worthy men that are high-value men. Okay? And there are high-value men that are marriage-worthy men. But these two things don't necessarily go together. And I think that is the problem that a lot of people have, is because they believe that This high value man is going to take care of them when he's not. And in order for women to find marriage worthy men, you have to talk to men. And you cannot just be talking to them in a flirtatious way. You have to have real conversations with them, and you have to understand where they're trying to go, what they're trying to do, how they're trying to set this thing up. You have to, once you get into that situation, of dating them and trying to build a relationship, you need to know where you stand in that relationship. You don't need to be too confused. Now, you might be confused for 3 or 4 days, but you should not be confused for 30 days. All right? You need to know, like I said, what the future is holding. You need to know how you guys are going to come together. He should be leading you down each one of these steps, and it should seem easy and light. It should not feel heavy where you're afraid. And if you're constantly battling with him, yelling and screaming and arguing and wondering and full of fear, you're not with a marriage-worthy man. Okay? And so at that point, you have to make the decision as a woman in order to get out. And for the men that are watching, the same thing goes. A lot of people are trying to say that there's high-value women out here, which is so weird because they generally use the same definition for a high-value woman, which we know over and over again that most men don't even care about how much money a woman makes. So a woman can never be high value based off of the amount of money she makes. She has to be high value based off of what a man sees in her at that time, which again goes back to kindness, support. Okay, yes, beauty is important, but also kindness and support, right? So a lot of high value women are invisible. We don't see them. And so if we see a high value woman, she's not really a high value woman. Again, that is society trying to give us information about it. But anyway, leaning into that, again, for the men that are watching, you are looking primarily for a marriage worthy woman because she needs, again, to be walking like a wife, and a wife that is going to put her family and God, God first, and then her family before anything else. So it's really supposed to be God, family, friends, okay? And then she can start talking about everything else, whether that's her church, whether that is her job, whether that is something else, one of her hobbies, different things like that. There should never be a situation where family, and when I say family, that also means husband, okay, in there, that husband doesn't come before friends, that husband doesn't come before, her outside family, her extended family, that husband does not come before her job. All right. And if you're a man and you see that behavior where a woman doesn't seem like she can come out of that she loves that job so much, okay, that it overrides everything, then again, you are basically taking your chances with a woman who may or may not care about you. And all this goes down to, whether it's men or women, it goes down to what do they value the most. And you have to listen. This is why you have to listen to people and don't always talk. You have to listen and find out what the person that's in front of you, what do they value? And if they do not value family, if they do not value coming together, if they don't value something big that is about you two coming together and creating something wonderful, i.e. a family, okay, they are not worth your time unless you just want to, be out here and play the field. And again, I've always said that's very dangerous. If you're in your 20s as a woman, it can totally mess up your life to be out here just playing around with men. And then as a man, again, it can also mess up your life. And I will always refer you all back to Proverbs 5 and Proverbs 7. And I've encouraged everyone to read all of Proverbs and all of Matthew. If you can't read anything else in the Bible, I am encouraging you to read that. Now, I do encourage you to read the Bible, okay, from front to back, but you will get a lot of information from Proverbs and from Matthew. All right? So anyway, please like, please subscribe, and I'm going to see you all in the very next video.